What's up, Earth Prisoners? Welcome back to part 7 of my King Gizzard album analysis series. Sorry for the break, I got a job, so it's been taking up some of my free time. In this video, we are going to be looking at King Gizzard's 6th studio album, Quarters. Released in May of 2015 on Heavenly Records, this album is 40 minutes and 40 seconds in length and is separated into 4 even segments, hence the name Quarters. Stu describes this album as one where he didn't have to yell and was able to explore some longer, more repetitive song structures. He is quoted saying, 4 tracks, 4 quarters, each one precisely 10 minutes and 10 seconds in length. Each one an extended jam teeming with melodies, the occasional trickle of water, space funk, laughter like Pink Floyd, and deliciously unfussy grooves. I also didn't want to use any brutal guitar pedals or sing through blown out guitar amps as I usually would. Instrumentation on the album is as follows. Cook, Cookie Craig, Stu McKenzie, and Joey Walker play guitar, while Stu and Ambrose Kenny Smith lend their vocal talents to the album. Joey and Lucas Skinner handle bass, while Michael Kavanagh and Eric Moore team up once again as the band's drumming duo. Michael adds congos while Eric handles the percussion side of things. Along with vocals, Ambrose is also responsible for that tasty, tasty harmonica that we have all come to love. And I'm pretty sure that's it. So with all that out of the way, we've got 4 songs to examine, so let's get into it. First up, we have The River. The River is a laid-back, jazzy song that would absolutely fit the feeling of floating down a very, very long river, fluctuating in intensity as the listener flows through the equivalent of musical rapids. Verse 1 opens with a simple explanation of what it's like to surrender to the flow of a great river. Once you're in the zone, the river flows down like a full stone. Water is your bed, the ripples cushion your head. Now, if you've had much experience with rivers, you'll know that fish swim up rivers, not humans. We aren't really designed to do it. We aren't really designed to resist the flow of that much weight of water. However, kicking up your legs and letting the river take you might not be advisable, as you may not know where the river leads. Your sense of self-preservation would keep you from lifting your legs and allowing the water to support your weight, even though in retrospect it would be much simpler and easier to do so. And like I said, resisting the river is exhausting, and resistance runs you the risk of drowning. In the chorus of The River, we are given the lines, "She will deliver, I am floating. Trust in the river I had floated down." She, as referring to the line, "she will deliver," is to me the same personification as we have seen in the previous album. She is Mother Nature. These words offer us the overarching message behind the song. Trust the river, or trust nature. In other words, let the river of nature drag you on a journey, and know that it will be okay. Don't fight the current, don't reject your surroundings. Mother Nature has the ability to deliver unto us everything that we need. Relax and trust that it will be provided. Verse 2 explains that once you've experienced the life Stu is describing, you'll have a much better understanding that you don't need a house to call your home, or really any material goods. All that you actually need will be provided by this holy experience. So trust in it. You've made it this far after all. I can't believe it is frozen. It's not the first time I had noticed. Paired with verse 3, frozen over home, the fading light shines on the white stones. Melt your little zone and sink into the waterfall flow. These words are meant to be an encouragement to break the barriers created by the self and allow the current of nature to carry you. It can be scary and anxiety-inducing, but let go of what you've been taught and start to learn on your own. You'll find that you need a lot less than what society or even your family will have you believe. Now, that's not to say that I don't understand the draws of modern amenities. This is a mighty cozy couch I'm sitting on in my nice warm apartment. However, survival is dependent on many other things besides paying bills and having a positive reputation. Nature can and will provide for you. All you need is faith that it will do so. While all of this is being said, and during the instrumentals at the end, an incredibly symbolic jam plays, encouraging you to pick up your feet and enjoy the ride. Trust that all will be well. Infinite Rise features a sound called a shepherd tone. For those of you who are unfamiliar, a shepherd tone is comprised of sine waves that appear to continually ascend or descend without ever reaching a peak. It's a simple but effective illusion, which offers an analogy to lyrical themes of life's continual movement and ascension, despite the feeling that nothing ever truly changes. I'd go through the lyrics for you, but they are mostly incoherent unless viewed as a whole. But as a brief synopsis, each of the 13 verses consists of 8 very short lines, while the refrain, "What's more, what's it for right now?" are the only repeated lines for 10 minutes. Infinite Rise ends with a shepherd tone to counter the one at the song's opening. I know this is a very, very simple and borderline non-existent explanation of the song, but honestly, that's because I have a hard time figuring out what it means. So if you guys have an understanding, drop a comment and let me know what you guys think that this song is all about. God is in the Rhythm is a fitting song name, as it does a wonderful job of conveying what this song is trying to say. In short, the rhythm of God is nature. Nature knows what to do and when. The moon circles the earth and the earth circles the sun. None of these things have brains in the traditional sense, yet they just know what to do, and thus we have seasons. Seasons also aren't capable of thought. Everyone knows this. Yet spring brings a dew, while winter sings a tune of hibernation. Trees know the perfect time to bloom, and leaves will fall when it is time. Wind will blow without evident cause. It just happens. Thanks to science, we can explain why things are affected the way that they are. But if science was never a field of study, nature wouldn't forget how to nature. It knows what it's doing. Verse 6 says, "Earth by the stars, we have all come from Mars. We all know it too. We belong to the soup." There is a theory that exists out there which says that millions of years ago, Mars was a lot like Earth, and it was a life-sustaining planet. One whose apex intelligence was able to harness nuclear energy. Theory posits that these Martians led to the destruction of their own atmosphere, but before their ultimate destruction, they were able to seed life on Earth, and whatever form that it originally took would eventually evolve into what we now know as humans. I have personally always been eerily fascinated by this idea. I know it's a very fantastical one, but also we live in infinite space that is constantly getting bigger. So, is it really that crazy of an idea? Stu seems to think that we all have a deep understanding that it is at least possible. We belong to the soup is another way of saying we belong to the universe. The universe is an atom soup. The song ends on an equally eerie 6th chorus, repeated twice, again suggesting a universal thought we all seem to have. We are waiting, expectating. God is in the rhythm. What exactly are we waiting for? Everything is already here. Lonely Steel Sheet Flyer is the 4th and final track on this album. My personal favorite of the 4, though it is a close call with the entire rest of the album. Verse 1 appears to be from the perspective of a human living on Earth during the time of a great change, but one who is not quite content with the change that is happening. "Lover, you will be stolen from us at the dawn," are the first words spoken, and I think the best translation for this line is, "Mother Nature, at the dawn of a new technological age, you are going to be taken over, and humans will no longer be the apex animal. Lover, conceal me, all of my body. I won't go." Could be translated to a plea of, "Mother Nature, please hide me from this technology. I want to stay in this place. I don't want to be assimilated and become something I am not." Verse 2 is very interesting. It seems that a lonely steel sheet flyer is supposed to be a metaphor for an airplane, but I think "Lover, it's all me, wrapped in a steel sheet flyer" is actually from the perspective of one who's already been assimilated by this technological beginning. Having joined only recently, this person still gets to enjoy the wonders of all of these new abilities, while still feeling human. Though the final line in the verse confirms, "Lover, it's all me, a lonely steel sheet flyer." This human isn't in a plane. They are the plane. The chorus reinforces the notion of how unnatural this new existence is. "My lonely wings are ready for flight. The ocean is breathing between you and I. My lonely wings don't make it right, wrapped in a steel sheet and ready to fly." Now the ocean could be a metaphor for a vast distance or separation. Oceans are big, okay? So it's almost as if this line is saying, Now that I am a lonely steel sheet flyer, I have distanced myself from you, Mother Nature, and it seems awesome to be able to fly now, but that doesn't necessarily make this right. Verse 3 suggests that the lonely steel sheet flyer is attempting to convince the personification of Mother Nature that it won't be easy for it to leave, but also, blinder I will be, dead and awake, see, I'll mourn. Lover, believe me, it's not the TV, it's more. TVs have been around for a long time and certainly don't seem sinister on their own, though the things they display can certainly be questionable. But this, being a lonely steel sheet flyer, or a cyborg for short, is so much more than what a TV will allow you to experience. But again, it won't be easy. Verse 4 explains why. Lover, I'm lonely, wrapped in a steel sheet flyer, hungry and thirsty, feeling the worst here, and tired. Cyborgs won't have to eat in the future, but imagine spending your whole life surrounded by people and being social, then becoming a lonely cyborg in a system that is empty and digitally black. I think it's fair to assume the humanity inside you would begin to crave what you cannot have. That feeling can easily represent a hunger or thirst for what you desire. My head is dusty, my nose is crusty. This flight. Lover, I'm lonely, a lonely steel sheet flyer. Dust collects over time and is a sign of lack of maintenance, while a crusty nose can be associated with sickness. The cyborg has been so lonely for so long that it's making him sick. After a soothing instrumental, verse 4 and the chorus are repeated, ending this song and the album. That is going to be the end for this song analysis and album analysis. So tell me how I did on this one. I know my explanation for Infinite Rise was fairly lacking, and I hope you don't hold it against me. Like I said, I have a hard time discerning meaning from it, so that's my homework for you guys. Give the lyrics a read, try to form a cohesive narrative, and drop that bad boy down in the comments for me. I really want to go through your guys' opinions of that song. Also, Spotify recently wrapped for 2021, so leave a comment and tell me what you listened to this year. How many minutes did you guys stream? What were your top 5 songs or artists? Not to brag, but I myself got 76,979 minutes. And King Gizzard was my #1 artist for the 2nd year in a row. They also told me I was in the top 3% of music listeners, and the top 0.05% of King Gizzard listeners. Moby Dick by Jakey, or Nakey Jakey as the YouTube knows him, was my top song, which honestly kind of surprised me, but it's a banger. Check it out. And let me know what you guys want to see me analyze, and maybe it'll show up in the future. Anyway, if you liked this video, make sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss out on my future videos. And thank you very, very much for stopping by this one. And I will see you in the next one where we cover Paper Mache Dream Balloon. See you then.